Judge Hidalgo met us today saying she is the most transparent, the most ethical judge Harris County has ever seen. Her words. She said she follows the law and suggested material released in court documents last week is misleading and one-sided. But given repeated opportunities to clear it up, she didn't take them. But what about the COVID contract? The one won by a firm court document suggests she was talking about and her staff was talking to for weeks before it was ever made public.
The intention was to quickly build the best grassroots outreach campaign that we could.
About that, she wasn't saying much.
Because it's an ongoing investigation, I can't.
She repeatedly blamed her defense attorneys for blocking her from saying much of anything. Why was her staff discussing a plan with a possible vendor?
I simply cannot answer those specific facts.
What about the documents that show she was discussing the work the company could do with senior staffers?
I'm afraid as much as I would like to, I can't get into how.
Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo's new security detail has a lot of people talking on social media. A private firm got a no-bid contract after Hidalgo's office ended its relationship with Harris County Precinct 1.
A brand new company which lists its address as a suite in this Spring area shopping center. But it actually appears to be a mailbox inside a shipping store. Hidalgo's office chose XMI after ending a security agreement with the Precinct 1 Constable's office earlier this month, an office whose chief of staff unsuccessfully challenged Hidalgo in the March 1st Democratic primary.
More evidence has been seized from more county employees, including Judge Lina Hidalgo herself.
The Texas Rangers turned to Google for evidence on how a vendor allegedly got an unfair edge to win an $11 million contract.
In the search warrant, investigators wrote that the release of the information harmed Harris County by providing an advantage to a competitor in a particular ongoing competitive situation.
What that really says to me is that there's something here. Somebody's going to get charged, and it's just a matter of who and for what.
She went a pretty big step further, tweeting that DA Kim Ogg will have her indicted.
For weeks, she's strongly defended her senior staffers under indictment, called it a political prosecution, but now, seemingly without prompting, suggests she could soon face prison time too.
Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo is making it clear today she expects to face criminal charges.
Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo went on the offensive when a reporter questioned if there's been an effort to, quote, defund the police.
Current chairman of the Senate Criminal Justice Committee, John Whitmire, says, quote, the nonsense of experimenting with defunding police so you can fund other
Great. Well,
who's running for mayor on a stunt?
Look, it ain't here. It's not here. Come on.
It deserves a laugh, frankly. Yeah, I think it is funny, actually. I think it's funny.
So we're going to take a...
All right, so you saw Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo booed by law enforcement officers. This is as she was leaving Commissioner's Court because she said she was feeling sick.
Dozens of deputies showed up to the meeting holding a banner that read, "Stop defunding." These law enforcement officers were hoping they'd get to speak and call for no law enforcement funding to be cut or reallocated. And because Judge Hidalgo wasn't feeling well, she just left early. The deputies who showed up all left the meeting shortly after Judge Hidalgo with no resolve.
KPRC2 legal analyst Brian Weiss says the documents show county staffers left a trail for Texas Rangers to review.
A trail that suggests that these three critical employees of Judge Lina Hidalgo not only wrote the final exam, gave the answers to Elevate strategies, and then got to grade the exam to ensure that Elevate got an $11 million outreach contract.
The Harris County judge candidates squared off in front of Houston Chronicle's editorial board, a discussion that led to the endorsement of Mueller.
She seems like she really is devoted to bringing Harris County local government back to the local issues.
The editorial board questioned the candidates on crime, education, and public corruption. The board says Hidalgo had holes in how she's handled rising crime and the indictments of her staffers.
When we looked at County Judge Lina Hidalgo's record, there were several things that were troubling.
Light is beginning to be shined on possible violations of state criminal law by public servants.
possible violations with deep ties to the office of Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo, according to law enforcement. Even Hidalgo texts her team with input.
Who came up with the idea?
Where did this idea come from? I mean, we all worked on it together. I don't remember where the idea came from.
Welcome back. Now it's time to take an in-depth look at the judge's race as we get closer to Election Day.
You have to look at the contract dealing with the vaccines, and she's taken a lot of hit there. And also the other issue in terms of dealing with crime.
You know, crime is a serious problem. And what did Lina Hidalgo do? She tried to defund our constables, and it took a piece of legislation during session to stop her from doing that. Can you imagine the county judge attempting to defund her own law enforcement units, our constables? It's atrocious. Beyond that, increased taxes. And, you know, as was laid out, she has some serious problems, legal problems on her hands. And she herself has already said she's likely to be indicted.